Hot damn, it's the Mike and Matt show.
Hot damn.
Hot damn.
Good to see you.
You guys have been waiting for this show, just pining. They've been pining for the show.
Have they?
They have. That's what I hear. And I like to read the comments because they're glowing.
Are they?
They're glowing. Nothing but fire. It's all fire.
Oh, it's all the fire emojis?
Yeah,
That's a good thing.
I fucking love the show. And then the haters dropped off after like week two because they got no, they're out of material already.
And we don't really care.
And I never respond to them. I'm like, I don't care. I don't give a. I'm over that.
Hate away, my friends.
There's nothing you could do on the internet to say to me that could even get me to respond to you.
I can't even. Well, that and I mean, it's all filled with hate now, so none of the hate's original. So, even if you're just like, you could just be the average person just posting something just average, and it's just not going to go well for you in general. So, I don't know. Everybody's got their 15 minutes of fame thing going on.
Yeah, it's not original hate, and it's a frustrating cesspool because you can own these people. If you're somewhat savvy and intelligent, you can just own half of these minions out there because they're not very intelligent. They just spout talking points, but they don't ever know that they've been owned, ever.
They'll never admit it.
I would never admit it. So you're just like talking to a wall. So
yeah.
I did it for a while, and then I was like, no.
I save it.
Stupid.
I'd rather have a interesting conversation with you than have a miserable conversation with a stranger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's no fun at all. It's no fun. I don't know why we do it. Before we start out, you had some news for Donna earlier. I may have some news for you. It's bad news. It's bad news.
Are you serious?
Bad news. I may not be able to do the show with you anymore. First, let me ask you this question: have you ever done a show with somebody who's TikTok famous?
No.
Well, I don't know. Are
you TikTok famous?
Technically, I'm TikTok famous because Ned. Let me get on Ned's TikTok here. Let me check the numbers.
Hold on.
Let me check the numbers on Ned's. Go ahead.
Now, what does that even mean?
What does what mean?
TikTok famous.
It's a made-up phrase.
Oh, is there like a number or a threshold?
I think I got. I don't know if but I think this is the threshold. Let's see, the latest one for the song Ned put up on Saturday or Sunday. 1.4 million views.
You got to be kidding me.
1.4. I've never had anything over like 10,000 views.
Okay, is it good? Or is it just like in your mind, are you going, how did this get 1.4? Are you going, yeah, that deserves 1.4?
Well, I mean, in my opinion, Matt.
But I mean, compared to the other videos that are up there that maybe didn't get
it makes no sense. I'm fascinated. Berlin did this for me.
Okay.
And she set it up, she runs it, because I would, me, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And we're trudging along here. She's like, you're doing good. You got, 300 likes on a lot of your videos. And I was like, all right, that's great. And then she, one day she comes over and she's like, Red Solo Cup has over 100,000 views. And I was like, wow, I don't usually get that. And I was like, that's cool. Then it went back to normal for another 2 weeks.
Okay.
And she's like, hey, this song got 80,000. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then a couple days ago, she's like, hey, Wild Turkey Nights has, like 200,000 views. And I was like, yeah. And it's one of those things, I'm sure you've done it. If you got a post or something that's getting a lot of likes, it's cool.
You get the dopamine rush.
And you're like, check it like, every like hour and a half.
Yeah.
Give enough time to build up and you're like, fuck yeah. But this was like, I was going, oh,
and it kept going?
400,000, 600,000. 800,000, and Ned had 2,000 followers. Now he's got 16,000 followers.
How long did it take for that to get 1.4 million?
About 4 days.
Oh my God!
4 to 5 days.
And how long is it? Like,
it's TikTok,
right?
So you don't have to worry about copyright.
Okay.
As long as you keep it under 60 seconds. So they're all 59 seconds long. And naturally, I've built this massive website to sell all this to the people of TikTok. No, I
don't. All you know is you got 1.4 million people watching something, and their attention span is under 60 seconds.
There you go.
Yes, perfect. Perfect. Congratulations.
In my opinion, 1.4 million makes you TikTok famous.
I would agree.
And, it's going to get me nothing.
You're not even going to be, soon, you're not even going to be able to put on a fake beard and dress up as an older gentleman and walk down the street. without people recognizing you or going, is that him? Is that a guy wearing the fake beard?
I'll actually start wearing out in public, just walking around and go, well, see if anybody knows this TikTok famous guy. Thanks for the idea, Matt.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. How great would that be, though? If is he famous, or did he dress up like somebody that's famous? Like, what's happening here? That's awesome.
It's not a better get-up. The original get-up was good. Where Donna would glue this pubic-like white hair that she buys from, she'd glue it. I get this stickum and glue it on. So it was a little better. But this beard, so you just go, you just put the tape on, you put it on, And then at one point on the show, on the old show, when Ned started having to be on camera, which ruined the gimmick. But so, I was wearing this beard. It was half-assed. And he's like, here's the beard I want you to wear. And he got this thing it's got a strap that goes on top of your head. And it's like a half of a Duck Dynasty beard. And it just looks so stupid. And I did it a couple of times, and I'm like, oh, I get it.
What did you look like?
Trying to make me look stupid.
Yeah, he's got you dressing like a gnome.
He wants to totally ruin Ned by making him totally uncool. Yeah, so
Meanwhile, look at how cool he is now. 1.4 million
That's right,
views.
Bitches. 1.4, So, this is only, I would say, 2.5 months into it. So that's pretty good. See, I'm being consistent. It's like every week there's like 4 or 5 new videos, and I got stuff for days.
Now I'm
just going to keep hammering it up there.
Yeah, you just dice it up. Now it says on there you're following. Is it 3 people? That's like my style, right? I don't know. Who are the 3 people that get the gracious follow from Ned's TikTok? That's what I'm curious of.
I think that was like the first day where I was like trying to be, I was like, oh, I'm going to look at the comments every day and follow everybody. And I just followed 3 random people who told me it was cool.
Oh, there you go.
And then Berlin's like, you don't need to do that. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, there was always a sweet science of when Twitter first started, before X, before all that stuff, when it first started, of trying to gain those followers. And then you'd have to have a ratio, or you'd try to have I don't know how you'd say it, I'm cooler than you ratio, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to follow 100,000 people and then you only have 20,000 followers, right? Because it looks like, they're just doing a basic follow back.
Yeah.
So you have to ramp up your followers, then you scale back the people you're following, and you pare it down, right?
So nobody notices. They don't even notice.
Yeah,
right?
and you've just got this discrepancy of going, he only follows, 100 people, but he's got 100,000. Followers. And it makes you, at least it did back in the day, made it seem more like, it's so stupid.
I think
it's so stupid.
It makes you seem kind of like you're like a snooty. You're too good for everybody. You think you're better than everybody. So other people should follow you, but
right.
You're not following anybody. And I kind of think that's a little bit true. I'm going to look at how many followers.
Look, you're following 3 people, and you've got 16,000. You're the epitome.
I am the epitome.
I'm
the epitome. Let's see. Ned allegedly has 25.8 thousand followers on Twitter, which I know is not true. And I'm following 44.
Oh, what a ratio. You look like a pimp. Wow. What a ratio.
What a ratio. Oh, what was I going to... Oh, I forgot to put it on Twitter.
Oh,
man.
Don't put anything on Twitter.
I gotta put it on Twitter.
Don't do
Why
it.
Why not? It's the worst.
It's the worst.
Oh, look at that. Look what I just put up. Can you see what I just put up? The Mike and Matt show.
Oh, no. It's the worst. Don't do it.
I'm going to say something really cheesy to really...
You're watering down our brand,
Am
Mike.
Am I? You got to get the brand out there.
I'm
no?
kidding. I don't know. Are you going to come up with something
I
genius?
can't come. I've got nothing clever at all.
Look, dude, you're a comedic genius. Now you're on the spot.
Let me see what I put up on my Facebook.
You just put the neptidius or something like that. You used a word that I hadn't heard before.
Neptidius.
And I was like, somebody gave him a thesaurus for sure.
It's radio Neptunium.
Neptunium.
I Googled radioactive elements. And I picked, and I picked the most weird one.
I shared it, and I just put, gonna be a fun hang or talk to you in a few. I just keep it simple.
Yeah, me too.
Look, man, it's been a dark week. So I was looking forward to coming in here and hanging and just trying to get an escape from
Blech.
everything. Just,
Dark week for you in general.
no, it's the same old,
Or the
same old
world,
for me.
just the world.
The world, yeah, all
Yeah,
that. It's
yeah.
just so heavy, and I try to find some sort of like comedy in whatever's going
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
I'm really having a difficult time finding anything funny in this at all. Like, there's not. I can't even find a piece of going. I mean, maybe I could make fun of Anderson Cooper, something like that. But as far as the dire situation and all of that, I'm going. Yeah, there's nothing funny there.
Nope.
No comedy there at all.
I think this would have been one of the things. Back on the old show, of course, we hopped on everything and we did the dickiest thing possible.
Yes.
And I think this would have been one where Bo would go, we probably shouldn't. And I'd be go, no, we probably shouldn't. One of the few things.
Yeah, it's one of these. Yeah, it's one of those situations.
No.
And even if you have a solid opinion on it, I'm still afraid to even give that opinion because it's just so heavy. There's just too much here to unpack.
I mean, it doesn't matter which side you support. There's bad shit going on.
Yeah.
you can't feel good about it no matter which side that you're on.
Yeah.
So the day after that, I wrote a Jewish history Jewish history quiz for the show. We did a quiz on Jewish history with comedic answers. Nothing involving that though. You see, so I just took the humorous route, but just in a very general.
So you did find some humor.
A general Israeli direction.
So you did find some humor in this situation, is what you're telling me.
I really was working hard, thinking, what can I do?
Yeah, what's the angle? What's the angle?
Trivia.
I was in Publix today, and they were playing Don Henley's "End of the Innocents," which is a great song.
It is good. It is.
Great song. And for some reason, I knew I was coming over here tonight, but it really sparked that memory of after 9/11 with everything going on this week. And it triggered that memory of you doing that tribute after 9/11. You came out of your production room like the next day and you were like, here you go. And it was to End of the Innocents.
Yeah.
And it had all the audio drops of 9/11 stuff. And I mean, I was walking to the store and I was getting goosebumps without even hearing the audio. And it took me back to that thing you did, and it really was like if you couldn't have a dry eye in the house after listening to your End of the Innocent song, for real, like it was good.
Yeah, I mean that was just fortunate, because I knew I was expected to do something about everything. If something big happened, it didn't matter. If it wasn't funny, that's fine. If it just needed something that wasn't funny, I had to do it. And so I'm like, I gotta have a song. And what song? What song is gonna compel people? Because it's a lot of work to put the drops in.
Mm-hmm.
That's not real.
Especially on the equipment then and everything.
Yeah, the DSE.
Yeah.
But that's not the talent. I mean, it was the best thing was picking that song, because that song, if you listen to it, it's perfect.
Very good.
Beating plowshares into swords, and talking about Reagan being, this, tired old man who's king, and all that stuff.
Oh man, I didn't read that deep into it. I just like the hook.
The End of the Innocent.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's a great song.
It's a great song, and then it got me thinking, and then I started playing Marshall Tucker Band, Can't You See? For some reason, because I love that song, and I never used to like Marshall Tucker. I never even really knew who Marshall Tucker Band was, right? Like, I just didn't grow up on that. And now all day, I'm just playing Marshall Tucker Band, Can't You See? And I played it previously a couple weeks ago. All day long.
That's a sickness right
I've
there.
been enjoying that song so damn much.
Guy's got a great voice. Can't you see? I mean, that was one of my favorite hooks of all time. Was I can't think of this.
Going out of Georgia.
No, not that.
Oh,
other,
no, that one. Did he have
Oh,
another one?
Heard it in love. Heard it, and then he goes, "Get me wrong." Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I remember Ned did a parody of that one.
And then the flute.
Yeah, the flute. Yeah. Oh my God.
Marshall Tucker Band.
I know. Some of this older music, dude, I'm digging.
It really when they take rock away, you got to go back to the old stuff.
Yeah.
And they've taken it away.
Or they've bastardized rap so badly now that there's not an enjoyable rap song. If there was an enjoyable rap song, I'd be all in. I'd give it a shot, right? But instead, I'm going back to Marshall Tucker Band. I mean, I'm swinging that pendulum way the other direction because that's how shitty the music is.
It's so shitty. And I think, back in the day, I was listening to my iPod and there's some songs and they got a message, there was some of that. And the message, just like Rage Against the Machine, fuck
Yes.
you, I won't do what you tell me. There ain't none of that. And the Rage Against the Machine guys have gone to the establishment side and said, fuck you, do what they tell you. And my mind is blown.
It's true.
Fucking blown.
I didn't even think about that aspect of it.
Because every single one of those motherfuckers was, if you don't do this, you can't come to our concert.
Yeah.
Fuck you, I won't do what they tell me.
Everything switched.
It all switched. It drives me insane. It keeps me up at night. I'm like, I don't know what.
The right's the left, the left's
what's
the right.
and I'm nobody because now you're making me go with those guys.
Yeah.
They're kind of like making me go to the right, and I'm like, that's not me, you sons of bitches. But you're so bad that you made me go there. Yeah, arg.
there is a good, I mean, I don't want to say a good thing out of this, but I have learned a lot with this whole situation with Israel. It's like getting a mini history lesson because everybody wants to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in 1968.
Yeah, but
The 7-Day War.
But there is actually some good videos that I've found because I'm like, I really didn't know that much about the Gaza Strip.
But very few people do.
And
I don't know that.
And
much.
I always was curious, I guess, but not curious enough to do my own Google search on it and read up on
Exactly.
it. Now it's in my face, and now I'm sort of like forced to know, which I'm okay with because it's all really interesting stuff. But the deeper you dive into it, the more you go, wow. This is really messed up on all parties involved. Like, it's really just and again, you can't say even all parties involved because you don't want to offend anybody. And I'm not trying, like, I really don't want to offend anybody in this situation.
Yeah.
Like, you really don't. But, man, there's a lot to unpack.
It is, and it's like, it's weird. It's a really weird situation. It's blowing my mind. Like, so now you're having all these snowflakes who were brought up, and they hate like the USA because we were colonizers, and they hate colonizers. So they are all coming out in support of Palestine on social media.
Yep.
And all these organizations, and they're in favor of Palestine, and like BLM. Did you say they put out the thing with the paratrooper?
Yes, I did see that.
A silhouette of a paratrooper going, "We support Palestine," and it's like. It's such a flip-flopping deal if now everybody's hating on the millennials.
Everything's twisted.
I'm just like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, everything's twisted.
I don't support either. I don't support either side, really.
Yeah,
it's none of my business. They hate each other. They're staying out of it.
Again, this is much like I told you a couple weeks ago. It's okay to not have an opinion on something and dig in, right? It's okay. Like, and that's where I'm at. I'm not going to. I refuse to dig in on any of this because I don't know I don't know. I have an idea, but not a strong enough idea to where I'm going to go out on a limb for it.
It's so deep that no matter what you know about it, I think it's way deeper than that.
I'm a 44-year-old white guy in Tampa, Florida. I'm not a subject matter expert on this.
Exactly. And
I realize that.
Almost nobody is. They don't know. You know what you're reading on the freaking social media, which is half fake.
Yeah, so you can't trust that.
It's frustrating. So I we haven't really talked much about it. I did the Jewish tradition quiz, but we didn't really talk about the situation too much. Because like right now, I want to get this thing I saw that showed how this is original Israel, and then 30 years later, this was Israel, and then present day, this is Israel, and this is the people who used to be there, and that's why I didn't bring it up because I don't think there's any.
It'll go badly for you.
It'll go badly for you. It's like you can't go. I think somebody might have a point.
No. Nobody has a point in this situation. Do not admit anybody has a point.
And the thing is, it doesn't. The Israel government, Netanyahu's he's a piece of shit, and I'm sure the leaders of Hamas are huge pieces of shit as well. It's a big piece of shit corrupt off. If you break it down to these guys want to get rich. Yasser Arafat didn't do shit for the Palestinians, and he led the organization for years, and he lived in a mansion. You wanted to keep it going like U.S. Congress, buddy.
Yeah, it's again, man. It's so
It's crazy.
It's so deep, and I'm looking at those paratroopers coming in, and I'm going, well, okay, one, just from an overall what an interesting approach.
Yeah. I was like, wow.
Interesting approach. I've never seen that approach. Okay, all right. So they did that. And then on the way here, I was actually listening to CNN, and they were talking about the Israeli reservists. Okay.
Yeah.
So they've got about 300,000 Israeli reservists. All right. And you've got 2 million people living in Gaza, within the Gaza Strip.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't know about now, but yeah.
Yeah.
We whittled it down a little.
little less. Give it some time. I'm sure that, yeah.
Yeah.
But then out of those 2 million people, you've got a ton of children, right? You only have a certain, your population, you get more and more granular with your buckets of population as you break them all down, right? Whether it's women, children, all that stuff. But you've got 300,000 Israeli troops. Now, I haven't done the math equation in my head, but I'm going, all right, let's say they send 200,000 Israeli troops in there just to go clean house, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Just clean. You leave 100,000 out, right?
Yeah.
For Hezbollah.
Got to, because you never know somebody coming around the back door.
Somebody else is going to be playing.
Iran.
But if you got 200,000 Israeli troops going into a 25-mile strip,
That's a massive amount of troops.
it's a massive amount that's like, again, I don't know the math equation, but if you take women and children out and you actually just take the amount of Hamas terrorists, I would imagine, probably have more troops than terrorists in that equation at that point.
Well, I was going to say, probably most of the people that lived there weren't terrorists.
Right.
But now
They are.
they are. There's
know.
no way. When you see that, this is everything, like I said, is so crazy. So I'm watching the news and I'm watching, they're showing the devastation of Gaza because the Israelis have bombed the hell out of it, right? And every story I watch, everything I see when they show this devastation, they start talking about Israel and how people are afraid because of this devastating war. And if you don't know, you don't have half a brain, it looks like that's what's happened to Israel. Is all this devastation is in Israel.
Mike, don't have an opinion. Don't do it. Don't do it. You got to fight this feeling.
Let me check my TikTok numbers.
Yeah. Go back to the TikTok.
1.4. Do I hear 1.5?
Everything's nice. Everything's good. Don't worry about it.
I won't. No, still 1.4.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, I understand your point, and the news is, let's just say, deceiving to say the least, right? I think anybody that has watched media can probably agree with they're deceiving.
I don't know if most people
To say the
I don't know
least.
if most people think that way, Matt, but I know some people do. And I know it's true, but I don't know if people believe that. They believe what they see, because they're on your social media feed. That's what they get. Everything you believe, you get every day. And so you think you're just right, and everything that they say is right. Well, I believe this guy for 1,000 days, and he's telling me more stuff.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Again, I am getting an
It's
interesting
insane.
history lesson, to say the least.
It's blowing my mind. You see, I can't. Yeah, like you said, we should not talk about it. Like, I'm just talking about the facts.
Don't do it,
Just
Mike.
the facts. 40, like the 40 alleged beheadings of the infants.
Yeah.
And then you read the next day. It's like Israel's not confirmed this, and almost everything they say, just like everything our government says, eventually comes out. No, they were lying about that. So
Yeah.
I'm sure there was.
Now, with that being said,
yeah.
one is too many. One is too
One
many.
is too many.
One beheading of a child is too many. Let's put that out there.
I'm behind that.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to wear a patch because I want to raise awareness to beheading, and I'm anti-beheading. I'm anti-beheading.
Dude, getting beheaded would suck.
Or is it the best way? You're like,
There's
And you're
no
done.
way that can be. No. I think they go in slow and surgical. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know.
That's right. Beheading. I mean, I never watched it, but
We're not talking guillotine where it's.
No, you're talking the Daniel Pearl.
Yes.
Which I didn't watch, but at first, 1 second, I went, "Oh, okay, I know what this is. I'm not watching that."
Yeah.
and that's got to be gruesome.
It's
How horrible is that?
terrible. I mean, when I used to watch beheading videos, I won't watch them anymore. Like all that stuff that's coming across now, I can't watch it because it's, I don't know, maybe my mentality's changed. I got kids. I can't watch that stuff anymore.
Yeah, I don't watch it either.
You know, I want to watch happy things. I want to watch Ned on TikTok.
Yeah, you think they get a sharp knife, or they just whatever I got. You know how hard it is to cut through meat and bone.
Yeah, I mean, you ever seen? This is gonna sound really gross, right? But if you ever been to a butcher shop and watched them actually like break down something, yeah, it's not a joyful experience.
Yeah, I've seen several bodies and being pulled out of things, and it's so, you see just the there's no, you could be in the deepest sleep, but you cannot emulate if somebody drug you like a dead body. A dead body is just, that dead weight is just crazy. I mean, it's just like, it's like one of my dogs died, and I'm trying to pick her up to take her outside the barrier, and I couldn't just get a grip on it. It was the death. They're just like, there's no control at all. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I've seen a lot of those bodies, and it's not very appetizing.
Well, then, I was watching, the one thing I did see, which is why I've made the conscious decision of trying not to watch any of the rest of the stuff of these videos, because I saw a father, and it was a Palestinian father, if I'm not mistaken, and he had his daughter.
Yeah.
And he's crying, and he's yelling, he's going crazy, and he's carrying her lifeless body. And as a dad, that's like an awful thing to see, right? Just as a human, that's an awful thing to see. But on top of it, I'm going, well, they just made a new enemy. I mean, you just made a new enemy, and that guy's family is also your new enemy and your new sworn enemy, because they killed your child. So then the battle goes on, and it never ends.
It's self-perpetuating.
Yes, it's crazy.
I got a matter of fact, I have a clip on just that. Here's Pat Buchanan in 2009 saying that the brother. Well, I'll probably just let Pat say it. He's probably predicting this exact thing. Hit it, Pat.
The Israelis have been hit for 6 months with these little rockets, which didn't kill anybody. It was outrageous, cruel, and stupid, and they triggered a blitzkrieg against the Palestinians in Gaza, which in my judgment is an Israeli concentration camp where 1.5 million people are locked up.
I mean, this guy, he's kind of, long in the tooth now.
Yeah.
But he's always told it like it is. He ran for president one time. He doesn't seem to, spout as much bullshit as the average guy.
Is he still alive?
I think he is.
Do you think he's sitting here going, man,
I'm gonna follow him on see what he's saying on Twitter.
Told you all what was going on.
Or is he drooling in his oatmeal?
Not come out or go in. They've been controlling food, electricity, fuel, and the innocent people.
This is exactly what they're doing now.
In Gaza are the ones suffering.
Concentration camp, Pat, doesn't that diminish the significance of the real concentration camps?
No, I'm not talking about a death camp. I'm talking about what the British had.
Right, don't fuck with Pat. He knows his facts. I'm not talking about a death camp.
In concentration.
Don't have an opinion on it.
Okay, maybe we should just move on.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna X out.
No, let's see what Pat has to say.
Concentration camps in South Africa, and what the Spanish had in Cuba, and what others have had, where they bring all these people, lock them in there, and treat them with great cruelty, and a humanitarian disaster, despite what Zippy Livni says. Well, let me tell you, I tell you how you create people for Hamas. You kill 675 people, you wound and injure 3,000. What do you think the brothers and sisters, those 5 little girls that died, what are they going to be when they grow up? What are these people under this, treated like this? Look, why do you think the Palestinians...
You know, and I know, that Hamas's doctrine, we can talk about it right here,
I know their
is to
doctrine.
hide in schools, in mosques.
Oh, boy, these guys are getting hot.
The civilians and use civilians.
See, and it's the same old thing. They use the human shields. And
I would have respected this other guy more, this shithead in the glasses, if he would have said, you know what, Pat, that is a pretty good point. You do make more enemies when you kill family and family members. No. You are going to make new enemies. Like, I would have, instead he's like, just admit, it's okay to admit when somebody has a point.
That's called, you can't do anything like that in any situation, because that's called moral equivalency. if you ever try to do anything with your enemy and say, well, maybe the reason they're like that no, you can't.
You can't do that.
And
No.
you can't like in the army, you can't even think that your enemy ever had a point because you got to kill them, no matter what. You got to kill them. So they're bad. They're bad. It's okay.
Don't do
I'm
it.
not gonna do it. We're gonna move on. But you see how mad he's getting. You see how mad. See, that's somebody who's just got common sense and is so frustrated.
Because he's looking around at everybody else who doesn't even understand where he's
Exactly.
coming from, or they're pretending not to understand where he's coming from.
Either way, both ways.
Yeah.
And how frustrating is that?
Yeah.
So here's how we set up the show here. Here's how we set up the show here on the Mike and Matt Show. I get a text on Tuesday. It says simply tomorrow, ? 6, ? And I tweet back, beheaded babies, rape, murder, and you want to shoot the shit? And about 5 minutes later, I get, pretty much. And then I text back, genocide and mojitos at 6. And he says, you got yourself a goddamn deal.
And here we are, and a show is born. Now, what you don't know is my autocorrect, before I said pretty much, it actually said petty much. And I sent that. And I'm going, well, that could read very wrong after you put beheadings.
It almost fits.
And I put petty much.
Petty much.
So then I had to delete it and unsend it and go pretty much.
I never got it. So.
Yeah, good. It worked then. It worked. Petty much.
Classic comedy routine right here.
It's a real who's on first.
Oh, speaking of who's on first, Matt, I was scrolling through the TV. There's never anything to watch, and I saw this thing that said Abbott and Costello, like primetime special 1950 something.
Oof.
And I was like, I'm recording that, and then I just sat down one day. I was like, oh, let me watch that.
There's no way that held up.
It's terrible. It's terrible. It's just really interesting. It's very interesting. Abbott and Costello, the Who's on First. I mean, they were if you watch, I mean, it doesn't hold up, but they're really brilliant at what they do. You got a straight guy who's just a total dick, always a dick, and then you got the funny fat guy. But it holds up. The comedy doesn't hold up.
I never really. I mean,
It's before your time.
Yeah, I didn't really,
people probably don't even know.
I
What
know
Abbott
the Who's
and
on
Costello
First,
is.
and I know Abbott, but that's about it. Yeah, and as far as comedy holding up, I could still watch Carlin all day, and there are certain comedians that their material holds up, like Carlin holds up, but I think he holds up for a different reason, is the fact that in his later years, he wasn't performing comedy. He was giving ominous warnings to society.
He was.
There was not really funny stuff. It was a rant of going, guys, listen to me before I kick the bucket. I'm telling you what's going on. And that still holds up.
I wish he was alive today because I would be fascinated to see his opinion on all this stuff. And like you said, it wasn't necessarily funny, but I find that if you believe like I do, and it's like that you're down the middle and you don't believe in these crazy
gray.
Yeah, these political parties, and somebody like George Carlin is saying what you believe in when nobody else is. You just want to hear it. You just want to hear what you believe repeated by another person who seems really intelligent and sane. And you're like, yeah, he knows it's true. I'm not alone.
Yes, you need somebody else out there to just, because I wouldn't be the one to say it. That's especially these days, you get canceled like that. You can't.
Kind of good. Yeah, I used to. I mean, up until maybe 6 months ago, I was doing I'm Right, You're Wrong still. And it's just like, man, all that's going to do is get you a visit from somebody with some initials one day.
That's not fun.
And that ain't fun.
No, it's not fun, I'll tell you.
Bubba's Rattler, 100 bits. Jamie the Plumber, 1,000 bits. Thank you, Jamie the Plumber.
Okay.
Ink Spike says Mike and Matt taking a bold stance on beheading.
That's right. Now, if there's one thing we can be sure of, it's that beheading is not cool. And that's
At
pretty
any
much
age, at any age.
At any age, beheading is not cool.
One, like you said, one is too many.
One is too many.
Vehemently anti-beheading.
Now, lopping dicks off. The other beheading.
The other beheading.
The other beheading.
They can put your dick back on.
They
can't put your head back on. I bet they've tried. I bet there's labs around the world where people are like, the Chinese are trying to put heads on people, dead bodies.
It'd be weird if there was a new terrorist cell of just dick terrorists, and they just ran around chopping off dicks. That was it. That's all they cared about.
Then the government would actually respond.
And they'd have to respond because you'd have, all these dicks have been lopped off.
It's the public isn't going to tolerate it. It's like, you got to stop these dick choppers. I mean, you think January 6th? You wait till the dick choppers aren't stopped.
Yeah. We will stop these dick choppers.
Guys with pitchforks, because I don't have a dick. I'm so mad.
I'm dickless. I mean, if somebody took your dick, let's be honest, it's you'd get pretty fired up about the situation. And you create plenty of enemies that way. You can't procreate. Your wife's not happy.
Your wife leaves you for a guy with a dick.
With a dick. Yeah.
That's all you. Hey, I got a dick. She's like, how?
And then you become a society of dicked and non-dicked. And then that becomes a whole thing.
God.
And then if you're non-dicked, you might as well transition. And then, it really can spiral out of control.
Why haven't the terrorists picked up on this? You just cut your dick off and then they set you free.
Yeah. It'll resolve itself of its own volition.
That's good. Yeah. Jamie the Plumber, 1100.
Hey.
Yeah, so it's good to have some lighthearted talk.
It is.
Like you said, it was a very dark week, and it's like in the news, it's same old same, and it's like, almost, you got all these a-holes up in Washington, you got the Lindsey Graham type, like, this is a holy war, I'm going to stand with you, and you're like, they're itching, itching to go to war. And it's like, if they may already have it planned. This is just, they know what's going to happen, and they know what's going to happen next. And Iran, they're going to do something with Iran. And then, Friday. Did you know that Friday, this could be news to you, Matt.
What?
Has been declared, or is it?
Oh, they've got a day for it already?
They've got a day for this already. Here it is. The leader of Hamas just called Muslims around the world to embrace a day of global jihad.
Yep.
This Friday the 13th.
Stay out of the big cities, my friends.
Stay out of
Terror
the big
alerts
cities.
on red.
And it's like, what are they? Yeah, this is, why are they doing this to us, man? Why? This is all theater. This is all a game.
Yeah.
Is it going to be? It's going to be.
It's not a game. Don't, Mike.
Yeah, it's not.
Mike.
It's not a game.
Not a game.
So this is a PSA. Friday the 13th, you might want to stick close to home.
As opposed to me going out and partying at the club like I usually do on Fridays.
Stay out of Ybor, man.
I guess this Friday I'll have to just relax.
Sit with my AK on my lap.
I do have to. I do have to load up on more bullets. I feel like I do have to do that.
That's just responsible because it's that's how they can disarm you like that.
Okay.
Stop making bullets.
And so here was my high thought, okay? And I wasn't even a high, but you have to work with me here, okay? Mm-hmm. Just a train of thought that I was thinking the other night when all this stuff's going down and we're saying, we're going to, now it's changed. So now we're going to supply Israel with, or some people think we should supply them with munitions, et cetera, right?
Yeah.
And of course, Ukraine, we're supplying with munitions and we're the people that lend help, right?
Oh, yeah.
So my question is this, like, I'm trying to think of how I would thought about it. It was more of a situation of, are they paying us back at all? Like, like.
They're paying us back.
When somebody borrows something and you go, hey, you got to pay us back, right? Like, instead, I feel like we're giving them everything. I feel like we give, right? We give a lot.
I don't think anybody donates. There's no foreign aid to America.
Yeah,
Vietnam isn't sending us, $2 million in foreign aid.
Like if somebody's like, hey, can I have an AK? I'd be like, you can borrow the AK, but I'm going to need that AK back in 6 months, and I'm also going to need it with perhaps some extra bullets that you used. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like we just a lot of times give stuff, and you know how that goes because, for instance, concert tickets. Okay, I know it's a terrible equation, but there's plenty of people that wanted concert tickets all the time, and you get dinged, and everybody wants. But then if you were to ever ask them for something, they'd be like, you know what? I don't have anything. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like we are with a lot of these other countries. If, in fact, we did need something from them, what are they going to be able to provide us if they can't even provide their own weapons and munition?
Dick. They ain't gonna provide us dick.
Like, why aren't we?
I don't think anybody it would come to our aid. I think I don't think we're getting nothing back.
I don't feel like we're getting anything back, and we've never used the word borrow.
It's not borrow. I
You
don't
can
think
hold
it
it. You can You can hold these rocket launchers for a little bit, but we're gonna need them back. Or we're gonna, what do you have that we can use? What do you have? All right, if you've got some sort of mineral, some sort of resource, if you've got oil pipeline, whatever it is, give us that. Give us the equivalent of the money in that that we're giving you in weapons and munition. I'm just saying there's no reciprocity. At least it doesn't feel like it. Unless you're the top of the politician food chain, right?
I think, it's just, I believe it's just another way for them to steal money. When they give a country, $800 million, they're getting either kickbacks for them, not for us, not for where the money came from, the taxpayer. They're just stealing that money. There's no other reason. Here's Iraq. We gave 1.17 billion last year. Jordan 1.16 billion. Syria 819 million. Ethiopia.
Jordan, he's the greatest of all time. He doesn't need any money.
He deserves it though. Syria 819, Ethiopia 8. This is almost $1 billion. Afghanistan 760 million. Sudan. I mean, I don't know. I wonder if they have a total here. It's preposterous how much it is. We give some to every.
We're giving. We're not
this
lending. I want to see the word.
Can you
lend.
see this list?
I couldn't go to the bank and be like, "Hey, man, I need you to give me some money," and they'd go, "Well, you're going to pay us back with interest, and then if you don't, then you're not going to get the money." Here, we're just giving money.
It's
so
telling you,
weird to me.
It's a racket because they don't give. The United States government does not care about other countries. They don't care about anything but themselves, and they continue to give this obscene amount of money away. They're getting something really good in return. Dude, I don't know what it is, but they're getting something good in return.
I mean, I think the worst part that I'm really trying not to have a heavy thing.
This was your high thought. This is on you. You said you didn't want to keep it dark.
I know, and here I am. The Iraq thing, right, where you've got it up there at 1.17 billion. I mean, we decimated that country, right? We killed 1 million innocent civilians.
Oh, Matt.
I know.
Matt?
I'm sorry.
Matt, are you going to try? You're not going to try to make the equation that the things we've done to other countries would make them justified in blowing us to all to smithereens.
No.
Okay, I want to make sure.
I'm going to do it in a very journalistic fashion.
Okay.
I'm going to preface it. Some would say.
I use that one a lot.
And then,
I use that a lot.
And then you got a free pass to say whatever you want.
That's right.
Some would say that we killed 1 million innocent Iraqi civilians.
Pshaw.
Yeah.
Piff.
Whoop-de-doo. All of a sudden. But yet we're the moral authority still for some strange reason.
Oh, so you're,
and I love America. Don't get me wrong. I love it.
Well,
I'd rather be here than there.
Like I said, soon I'm going to be disassociating myself from you.
After your TikTok?
America is, let me find the word, we're special. We're
how you say?
Well, how do you say we're exceptional? American, we're better than everybody.
Let me clank my eyes.
So I just want we didn't murder 1 million innocent Iraqis. At least that's not what Fox News told me.
Well, then there you have it.
Then they're fair and balanced.
That's right, fair and balanced.
Yeah, that's the biggest rib ever. Is like you'd be talking to a Republican, and they're like, they'll be quoting Fox News, and you'll be like, well, it's Fox News. And they're fair and balanced. You're like,
again, just beat that message just down their throat. Just hammer it with as much frequency as you can, and eventually people will buy in.
They will too.
I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
I mean,
we firsthand
for years. Just beat the shit out of a message. Just,
it
doesn't matter if it's true or not.
Sticks.
Just beat it down their throats. It makes no difference. Eventually, people will believe it.
See, I think that's my problem. See, I never beat. I just did. I'm just gonna go on and do a really good show. But I was never like, Mr. Promo Man, just beating about how good we are and where you can get this and how, I'm just do a good show. Hope you find it.
Well, even now, that's what our approach is, right? We're just in here having a good hang, having a conversation, and whatever happens, happens. But I mean, if we were to take a different approach and sit here for 2 hours and beat the shit out of somebody, we certainly could, right?
Oh yeah.
But that's just not us. I don't think that's us.
I mean, like, occasionally we'll come, the other show will come up. I mean, because like, I don't know, we both worked. This was our career.
Yeah.
For the majority of our working lives, this was our career. And it was like a really interesting, bizarre, crazy career. It's going to come up.
Yeah.
And then we'll just talk about what happened. It's like we don't have to. Hey, today we're going to talk about this and this. No, it just whatever topic. Sometimes it just worms its way in.
Just goes, man. Just goes. I have. I don't know what you've got on your list. What do you have on your list? You got something?
Why?
Give me what you got.
Okay, here's what I had on my list. Which we haven't got to yet. I was going to say, since it's so dark,
Yeah.
somebody requested these. Like, they'd really like to know how you and Matt got into radio, and what's your story about your very early radio careers. And I went, well, that'd probably be pretty interesting. So we could talk about that. The TikTok, Ned's TikTok infamy.
Love it.
The texts,
Yes.
the texts,
Yes.
BLM support.
Sure.
And I was going to talk about spanking. That was a last minute addition.
Let's do that. What do you mean? How was that a last minute addition?
Well, because we brought it up before the show started.
Oh, it really was a last minute addition.
It was a last minute
Okay.
addition.
Okay.
You were saying you're not a spanker, and I wasn't a big spanker, but I was definitely a spanker. People are like, if you're like, there's some people like you spank, you're violent, you got mental problems, and you're like, I'd slap my kid on the butt sometimes. That was about it. Maybe when Trace got older, like about 6 maybe, and we did have a metal spoon
Oh my God, the metal spoon.
when he was really bad. But we had to discontinue using that because he's always getting his hands in the way. And you didn't want, that could.
Yeah,
that
you
could-
didn't want to hit
you
the
don't want to
knuckles.
break a finger or
Yeah.
something. And you're like, well, how'd you break your kid's finger?
Yeah, that
I'm
becomes-
beating him with a spoon.
It goes from spanking to child abuse real
Exactly,
quick.
Yeah.
Well, kids know a lot of rights now. When I was young, I took whoopings, dude. The rulers, the belts, the typical stuff, the ping
Yeah.
pong paddle thing where she'd rip off the little ball and just that stuff.
I got the belt from my dad about 2 or 3 times.
Hear that snap? Oh yeah. Yeah,
That
those are-
hurts too. The belt on the back of the thigh.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Yep. Leave a mark.
Yeah.
And then my son, I spanked him one time. I felt terrible about it. It's just not my style, my speed. And my daughter, she's got a bleeding disorder. So guess what? I'm not doing.
Yeah.
I'm-
Jesus God.
I'm not spanking her. She's never been tapped. You know what I mean? Like, so you just have to give stern talking tos, and that really doesn't work. But even if I could spank my daughter, right? I just wouldn't. It's just not my thing. I'm probably like you. I think you mentioned you do a blow up like once a year.
Yeah.
That's more my thing.
Verbal blow up.
Yeah, I'll do a verbal blow up, and then I go crazy, and I settle down like 3 days later, and everybody knows not to talk to me for a couple days. Let me just gather my thoughts.
Yep. It's best.
It's best that way.
I mean, my granddaughters, I wouldn't even think about spanking them. I think you get a lot older,
you
older
can't-
and mellower.
Hold on.
What?
I don't think that to me seems off limits. If the grandparents
Yeah, I'm not.
spank. But you would.
I wouldn't do it. I've never. They're 7 and 9. They're almost over. They're
I mean,
above spanking age.
But
anyway.
I know you don't. But would you feel awkward or weird if you found out a grandparent was doing the spanking as opposed to the parent?
I'm not like if you're doing like a on the butt. I don't really. If my mom said she swatted.
You'd be okay with it?
I really wouldn't care. I know. I mean, they raised me. They never abused me. I know they wouldn't be abusive.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's true. Yeah. I
That's
remember I was screaming bloody murder one night when I was a kid, and the cops came over. And
Ooh.
yeah, you got to visit from the cops.
Ooh, that's a bad one.
Well, the worst part is it wasn't about. I mean, I was just being a dick of a kid, right?
Yeah.
It's like I didn't want to get in the bathtub or something like that, right? It's not like my mom did anything. There was no malice on her part. It's just me being a dick of a kid. But when the cops arrive, it's more of a question of not why they're here, but who called them?
Yeah, exactly.
Which one of the
Exactly.
neighbors did that? And that was always the big question, like, which one of these neighbors dimed us out?
Yeah.
Who's getting out of our business?
Did you ever figure it out?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Did you drop dime on your mom, or did you have her back?
Oh, well, she didn't do anything wrong.
I know.
Like,
I'm just saying, but you could say, you know.
I could have, but yeah, I mean, they pull you aside. The cop is like, they ask you the typical questions.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was so nervous to even see a cop in the house. I mean, I'm a little kid, and all of a sudden there's a cop there, and I'm going, oh, this is not good. Even I got to back up off this one. I got a baby face.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, that's not a pleasant scenario. Anytime the cops come to your house,
No.
ever.
Ever. Yeah, even when you need them, it's not. Yeah, no, it's never good stuff. I don't know. Oh God, the spanking thing.
Banking. Do you say bank?
The spanking.
Oh, they
thing,
said
yeah.
bank. I was like, don't tell me now the banks are failing. We've got first Israel, now the banks are. Yeah, you know how they do. You know how they
Banks.
do.
Don't get me started.
That's why my philosophy. The world seems to be crumbling around us, Matt, and that's why my philosophy is. I'm trying to enjoy life. I'm trying to, appreciate things. It's hard to do. It's if tomorrow you lost your leg, you'd be going, man, if I just had my leg, I would be so happy. But you can't walk around every day going, I'm so glad I got legs. It just doesn't. It's not human nature. It's not human nature. I tried to, because, things can get bad when you're $33 trillion in debt and you got these insane, corrupt psychopaths, and somebody could do something stupid. And they seem like they're getting on the verge of doing something real stupid.
Yeah, I'm very curious of what's going to happen with this
Yeah.
whole thing.
No, I'm looking at the list. We'll move on from foreign aid. It's like let me show everybody. It never ends. Look, here's a list of countries. Here's the list of countries that we give. And this is 215 million. We're in the 180s. Started out with the billions, 700, 800, 200, 100, 135, 25, 25, 83, 83, 54.
Look at how quickly you're glossing over
I
all
know.
of it, right?
If I was going slow, it's like every country in the world. Every country in the world gets U.S. money. Look at this.
Hold on. We're giving United Arab Emirates money?
Where is that?
What does the UAE need money for?
Well, we only gave them 116,000.
Oh, all right.
At least that.
That's
yeah.
a- that's
they
a-
why aren't they giving us like?
That was a 4-day, 3-night trip to Dubai. That's all that was.
Why don't they give us $1 billion? They got money just out the. Look, it never ends.
Yeah, like, are we asking for anything as a country? Like, I want to start asking for some stuff.
We don't.
Like,
They're getting.
are we too proud?
No, they're getting something. I don't think I showed that to people. They're getting something. They're getting something. They're getting something. They ain't worried about America getting nothing. If you're freaking,
I want some stuff.
if you're Lindsey Graham, you're worried about what you're getting.
Lindsey Graham. Come out already.
I mean,
God's
it's
sake.
preposterous.
It's really a...
He's gayer. He's gayer than gay.
Speaking of that, did you see Biden's brother? Which I didn't even know there was a Frank Biden. I don't, but
I did.
oh my God. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, his brother Frank Biden, who is
I didn't even know there was a Frank Biden.
didn't even know this was Frank Biden, but the dude is jacked. Okay, he looks like he's got like an RFK body.
He's on growth.
Yeah, big time. And
Look how jacked he is. How old is this fucker?
I have no idea, but that guy he's on so much sauce. Look at that guy is sauced up.
He's like got to be in his 60s.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe is
Maybe
he 70?
70s.
Look at that.
You know
he's
what?
jacked.
Maybe I'm taking the wrong approach. Put Frank in office and take Joe out.
I'm
'Cause-
totally cool with that.
Yeah, and have that guy just walk around shirtless.
And then for the State of Union, he comes out and
Shirtless.
he does push-ups and pull-ups.
My State of the Union is strong.
See, it's idiocracy.
He's looking like Buff Bagwell.
Look at that.
Yeah, so
I was on it allegedly on a gay dating site.
yeah.
Allegedly.
Well, I mean, it is his picture. Okay, it is his dick pic, but it apparently got hacked and they put it on a gay dating site. Right now, if you're believing that story, sure, okay, fine. I'll give you that one, right? Let's just say his phone let's just say it got hacked, and let's say it accidentally ended up there, and he's embarrassed by the whole situation. What he should be embarrassed about is taking the dick pic. Why does his family love taking so many nudes of themselves?
They like dick pics. I mean, Hunter Biden did amateur porn.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, just he liked filming himself screwing and putting it on the internet.
That whole family is
I mean, the nut don't fall far from the tree.
right.
I don't guess you can say that though. You'd be pissing certain people off.
Yes.
Since when the president's son is a dirtbag, couldn't you talk about it?
Well, not only that, but think about this. If you've got a family full of shitbags, right? And
Yeah, they're a family full of shitbags for sure.
okay, so what? All of a sudden, the one person in the family's not a shitbag? Like all of a sudden, you've got this one moral authority who has the utmost standing to be president of the United States, but the rest of his family is dickbags.
Yep, especially the son he raised.
Right,
Real dickbag.
You're gonna believe that that guy is the no. Trust me, I'm good. The rest of my family's all pieces of shit, but I'm nothing like them. How many families do you know like that? Usually, you're all flocking together, right? There very rarely will you see a family and one rises above to become something that the rest of the family goes, wow. I can't believe he made it. I can't believe he did that.
It doesn't happen. It's
Doesn't
the
happen.
genes, man. It's the genes.
Yeah.
It's like the Trumps, you know, all the Eric, Donald Jr., Ivanka. It's like they're just like Donald, like real pretentious, rich fucks.
Yep.
You know. So don't you think that all the Bidens are kind of the same criminals?
But I don't see any dick pics of those kids. I mean, they're
true.
probably maybe they're out there. I don't know,
That's
but
true.
I think they're smarter. I think they're a little bit, more cerebral in their.
I mean, it's off the chain as Donald is. You don't see any Donald dick pics. I got to show you, it's the most amazing dick in the world. It's the most amazing dick. I've never seen one though.
Meanwhile, Frank Biden is jacked.
Have you seen do they have a picture where they show his dick?
I have not seen.
I haven't seen that. I haven't looked. I'm not concerned enough to try to find it. Uncensored Frank Biden pic. I got to see his dick.
Same. It's not. It's just another fun fact. It's just another thing where you go, oh, another brother that I didn't even know existed is just another piece of shit.
I was always just, as far as dick pics go, I was always looking for a relationship, and so, I don't know if Donna would have cottoned to me, like the fourth or fifth date, me sending a picture of my dick to her. As a joke, I think she'd be okay with it. But me just going, hey, how you like this cock? That's just not me.
It's still
That's
a
not
weird
her.
joke.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen it as a joke either.
Even if you had the best sense of humor in the world, it's still an odd joke. I did have a friend who used to do that to me, and he would send them, but he had a nice collection of watches, right? So he would always do this thing, and he'd go, hey, what do you think of this watch? And he'd just wrap his dick right next to his watch. So, and to the point where I'm like, I mean, it was a nice watch, but I'm trying to focus on what kind of watch he had.
Interesting prank.
It wasn't
a
a
gimmick.
It was good. It was funny. I get it.
I don't get it.
Well, I'm older now. Now I don't get it. At the time, it was funny.
Wow, it's 7:00 already.
Man, doing an hour?
We're gonna did an hour. We could do another. We'll do a while longer as long as we can keep it from getting dark. Let me find a good song. This is a good song. This is
I'm gonna make Frank Biden my profile pic.
My favorite picture is have you seen the Hunter Biden picture where he's in white briefs?
Yes.
He's got a red scarf.
Yes.
He's got aviators, and he's got like white tennis shoes on, and that's it. That's my favorite. I almost wanted to do that for Halloween.
Oh, it's really good.
That's really good.
And he's feeling splendid about it.
He's like, don't fuck with the Biden.
If that picture of me ever got out in public, I would be so ashamed to show he's flying an Air Force One, not giving a damn, parading himself around town with his dad, like all the stuff that you'd go, I guess that's a difference in personality type. Some people would hide and cower. That would be me, because I would be so ungodly embarrassed that I'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe that picture of me white underwear and aviators and a scarf got out.
Hunter's got swag.
Yeah, and then there's the other personality type that's like, that's out there. Anyways,
Anyway,
whatever.
I mean, he probably went, yeah. I'm glad that picture out because that's a good picture of me. You know,
Yeah.
he's that kind of ego.
Look at how shredded I am.
I mean, if my dad was president, I'm sure I could get some cushy. You could get a cushy job making, big bucks, or at minimum, probably 100 G's a year. If you're the president for the rest of your life. You're the president's fucking son. The president's son. That'd be me, and I'd be like, man, I ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
And I'm making 100 G's a year off my daddy's name. All right, honey, and we'll ride off into the sunset. But these guys got to cheat and wheel and deal and all that.
Yeah, no, it's true. They could have had a very good lifestyle and just been okay with that and stay under the radar and just be. Instead,
I think they feel they're above the law. I think they are. I think they are. And on that note, this is a good song. It's I think it's an independent group, 5 Times August, and he writes political songs. And it's hard to write a political song that's good, but this one's pretty good. He's talking about how all the phony, all the rock people were, and they all started out anti-establishment, and they all became what they hated. And we'll be right back with more Mike and Matt. Thanks for tuning in. Turn it up, Mike. Turn it up.
Well, there ain't no rock and roll ever since they sold out Rolling Stone. All the words that were sung in the past will never feel the same when we're looking back. All the old men sitting in their makeup chair with their gold record walls really couldn't care. All the fame feels the same when you've had enough, so they don't bother standing up. And there ain't no peace in love ever since the 60s kids grew up. All the drugs and the girls and the cash, after all the songs it was gone in a flash. All those bad boy rebels and the attitude, what a show. We didn't know that none of it was true. Only self-serve anti-establishment. We were all so innocent. Because there ain't no rock and roll, and the blues has lost its soul. All the punks gave the man control, and every pop star's bought and sold. No, there ain't no rock and roll, and there ain't no Joan and no Bob. No one stuck around for their protest job. All the stars and the big pharma whores, shilling for a check from their corporate shores. All the actors say what they're paid to say, while the fans take the blame. All the once cool fools that were me and you, well, they pushed us all away. Because there ain't no rock and roll, and the blues has lost its soul. All the punks gave the man control, and every pop star's bought and sold. No, there ain't no rock and roll, and there ain't no boss, no queen. Never was a rage against the damn machine. No, there ain't no fighter in the foo. No more rocking in those free world shoes. All the high-strung Neil Young wannabes, yeah, their silence has been deafening. All the
Twisted Ned, you want to fist him? Mark out to the man, Ned Lee. See a four-leaf clover, you best not bend over. Ned's partial to sodomy. Got no time for romance, let it ride in your pants. Join the Ned Insanity. If your neck is bright red, buy a Ned hat for your head. Then go off and smoke some weed. The Ned Navy, yes, you can sail the 7 seas. The Ned Navy, yes, do it in your dungarees. The Ned Navy, well, you don't even need a boat. The Ned Navy, and you can fuck a billy goat. The Ned Navy, yes, you can join the Nedley clan. The Ned Navy, don't give a fuck, don't give a damn. The Ned Navy, you'll be a seaman second class. The Ned Navy,
second class.
and Ned will fuck you up the air.
Ned will fuck you up the
Hey,
air.
fuck you. Hey, fuck you. Hey, fuck you, all the Nedley crew. Hey, fuck you. Hey, fuck you. Hey, fuck you, all the Nedley crew. Hey, fuck you. Hey, fuck you. Listen here, you cocksucking motherfucking cheap son of a bitch piece of shit bastards. Buy my hat. Ned Navy, you'll be a fucking piece of shit.
You'll be a piece of shit.
Ned Navy, he'll fuck you in your armpit. Ned Navy, you cock fuck shit fucks by my hat. Ned Navy,
You cock fuck shit fucks.
Oh my
By
God.
my hat.
the Ned Navy, the Ned Navy, he'll shove an anchor up your ass. The Ned Navy.
This is right before we got fired.
Imagine that. I mean, you can't sell products like that on HSN.
Oh, I was about to become a millionaire off the Ned hat.
I have. I
Navy
think
hat.
I still have one.
Oh, really?
No, actually, no. There's no way I do.
You could,
I used to
I don't
have
think
one.
I do. I don't. How I do? I don't have a Ned. I bet there's got to be a Ned Navy hat somewhere.
Oh my
And
God,
we got
that's-
fired and didn't sell none of them.
That's hilarious. Oh, Jesus, the Ned Navy.
It was quite an interesting feeling being a character that you could just insult people and tell them to fuck off, and they loved it.
Consistently. Like you were never, as that
Never.
character, it was
Never.
never like a, hey man, thanks for listening.
There was never
It was a fuck off.
even the nicest, most loyal listeners got a big fuck you.
It was even better when they'd ask for it.
Oh, I think we were gonna talk a little bit maybe about our earlier ventures into radio.
Oh.
Matt. Somebody requested that. It's like you can start off. Like I don't even know. I think you're just a listener who wanted to get into radio. I don't know. You tell me.
Okay, so no, for me, I was always just a big radio geek. Ever since I was in elementary school. I mean, just listening to the radio constantly and growing up on the culture of it. And I just gravitated towards
Okay,
it.
like you. Thank you, babe. Thank you very much. When you were, listening to radio when you were younger and a radio geek, what did you listen to in the Tampa Bay area?
It was Q105.
Okay,
So it was only Q105, right? And then when 93.3 FLZ came on and
Yeah.
Power Pig, and that was this radio war, I think I was probably in,
that'd be
third or fourth grade, something.
Be
And I
like
was
90 or something like 90.
Yes, I was fascinated, right? And I was like, this is nuts. So I think I mentioned it the other week. I was the kid calling up and trolling both stations, being like, oh, did you hear what they're saying about you? Oh, did you hear? And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm working my home landline, right? Like,
So you were digging that radio war stuff, see?
I loved it.
And it was good. It wasn't. It was
Yeah.
It was fascinating.
And of course, I was the kid who had, a dual cassette, player, and you're trying to tape songs off the radio and then tighten them up. And the first time I was ever on the radio, I had called Big Rig. There was a band called Green Jelly.
Yeah.
Green Jello. Little Pig, Little
jelly.
Pig.
Green
Yeah.
jelly. Little pig, little pig.
And I requested that song, and I listened on air waiting for him to play back my call or whatever. I think it was Big Rig. It may have been Ledge. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And I remember it was like one of those like top 5 at 9 features. And I hear my call, and my voice sounded all prepubescent. And
Yeah.
the DJ just goes, "Yeah, whatever, kid."
Oh, he
that was
gotcha,
it.
he
Like,
gotcha.
yeah. He had tightened up the call. He got me. But I remember taping my voice because I wanted to hear if they played
Yeah.
it. So I caught it. And then from there, man, I just really just always had an interest in it. So then, I've told this story before a few weeks back, but I called up a DJ. It was night at 102.5. I forget what the signal was at that time, whatever they called, whatever the format was. And then I asked him how to get into it, suggested internships, et cetera, et cetera. School was never really my path, let's say.
Wise choice.
I just looking back on it, I probably should have. I wish I would have concentrated more and done, just tried a little more. But my situation in my life at that moment was a little chaotic ever since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So really just getting in that way. I've never heard, however, your path. I truly mean that. I've never heard how you actually started. I've heard a little bit of dancing around it, but I've never actually heard like how you really got into it.
Well, real quick, green jelly aside, I used to play me, Donna, and Pat Loro and Donna's niece used to go to Green Parrot Pub in Tampa, and we would always play green jelly. And I had the real long hair, and I would bang my head and swing it around like a real asshole.
Was this when you were in Emerald City?
I know it was after, I don't know. It was probably right after when I started in radio. Like, I was like 29, 30 years old.
So how did you actually get in? What was your
Get in what?
into radio? Like how did you
okay.
actually get in?
All right, so this was like probably 89 or something. I mean, I always, when I was young, like you're a radio geek. I was just a creative geek. Like I would make movies. You're talking Super 8, like the film. It's got like a real
Sure.
film in the camera, and I make G.I. Joe movies, and I make Dracula movies, and I make all these movies, and I get on the tape recorder like you did, except I would like try to I'd ask a question, try to get a funny answer from the lyrics. But I had no idea, people, what do you want to be? I don't know, lawyer. I didn't put two and two together that I should be something creative. And so I never was. And then when it's like 30 years old, I was hearing those I heard the radio wars like you did, I was like fascinated by it. And I heard Mark Chase, the old PD of 93.3 on WFLA, which was their sister station. And he was being interviewed by Lionel. And I was like, man, this guy, I gotta work for this guy. Like I loved what he was talking about. I loved his point of view and his ideas. And so I made up a resume. It was completely fake. It was 100% humorous. There was not a legitimate thing on the, I had no resume. I never did shit in my life until I was 3. I drove a rock truck and I was a substitute teacher. So I just and
That's a whole nother topic.
oh God. And so the resume goes down there and Dr. I can't remember his guy. I can't give him props. He's dead now. But the afternoon DJ at 93.3 saw that resume and he thought it was funny. So he posted it on the studio wall, which everybody, every salesperson, everybody's going to see.
you're
that.
walking through there.
Everybody's going to see that studio on the. on the studio door, to get in the studio. So everybody's going to see it. And Mark Chase calls me one fucking day. Like I'm shitting my pants. He's like, "Hey, dude, why don't you come out down to the station, and I'll pay you $100 a week. You can learn about radio." And I was just like, "Oh shit,
You got yourself a goddamn deal.
fucking shit!" I was like, "I can't believe it." And I went down there, and it was the Three Little Pigs: Mark Chase, Fathead. Who was Mark Chase, BJ. And Jack Harris, who was this old guy who was a legend in Tampa Bay radio, and he was making $300,000 a year, and he didn't do nothing, and they just kept him. They kept him because it'd been bad PR to fire him.
Yeah.
So he just sat in there every day, reading the paper. He did the joke of the day at 7:45, and he'd have some corny ass joke, and then he'd go, "I'm going to get breakfast," and he'd leave, and he'd go on a breakfast run. And he never paid. He never paid for fucking breakfast. And I would never get breakfast. And then, and I was, because this is another story. I was buckwheat back then.
Oh, buckwheat. Oh, Tank.
So I was buckwheat, and one time he couldn't take it anymore. He's like, "Buckwheat, I'll buy your breakfast. You gotta eat something. Come on, buckwheat, order something." So I was So I joined the Three Little Pigs, and back in the day, Spice, there was a bit Eddie Murphy did on Saturday Night Live, and he was buckwheat.
Yes.
And it was Buckwheat's greatest hits, and he was singing them, and it was like they do it because Buckwheat didn't enunciate, and I was like, I was like, Mark, I got an idea. We're gonna do guess what Buckwheat's singing, and caller's gonna call in, and I'm gonna sing a song as Buckwheat, and they're gonna try to, and from then on, I was Buckwheat.
Yes, I remember the buckwheat character.
I had to be a little black, and then black people would meet me, and they were so disappointed.
So
they
then
were so and it was like, yeah, I'm a white guy, and they're just like, the man stealing brothers' material. They hated it.
I could imagine that would probably be a little disheartening to people of color.
I think so.
You
They're like,
know?
oh, go meet Buckwheat and he's some cracker. It was a real downer.
Yeah, meeting the.
So I totally lucked into radio. Totally lucked into the right situation, right time.
There was always
lucked into it.
We would get all these air checks at the studio. Everybody wanting to be in radio and blah blah blah. And I remember there was something called the Box of Dreams.
Yep.
And they would immediately just get tossed into the Box of Dreams. Never be heard of.
Never. Never listened to any of
really
them.
never knew. Maybe there was somebody that was really great.
I'm sure there was.
But it was the Box of Dreams, and they were just crushed dreams. So the dreams that never even got started.
And here's what you would do. You would go into the Box of Dreams and say, I need a tape.
Yes.
So that I can send
record over it.
So I can send my air check, and it can be in another radio station's Box of Dreams, and you would just record over it.
Yes, I used to do that too when there was like music stores, Tape World and all these places in the mall where you'd get tapes at on sale, like somebody's flea markets, something like that, and you'd get them, and then I would take a little piece of paper. You take that little corner or something and you'd shove it in that little indent.
Yep.
So you could make sure to record over it. It was the best. It was the best.
Box of Dreams, man. There's so many tapes in there. They didn't listen. They didn't look at resumes. Everything just goes. They know. It's like when they started the Power Pig. Mark Chase brought all his boys from Nashville, Tennessee, from like 107. Mm-hmm. He brought them all down here, and even as somebody who just came in off the street, you're like, man, all these fucking people coming, this nepotism bullshit.
Yeah, like they're just bringing in their own crew.
Yeah,
it was funny
when nobody's looking at the Box of Dreams.
Well, when I was doing the Radio IO stuff, right, and
let's not get started on that.
Well,
go ahead.
I mean, and we can get started on various aspects of it, another time. But to focus in particular on the programming end, I was putting a lot of work and dedication into that whole project. Like it was a definite second job. It was a lot going on, a lot of moving pieces and all this stuff. But in my mind, I knew there was really great talent out there that wasn't being utilized. Mainly Drew Garabo, Scott Ledger, Shannon Burke. Right? They were all tremendous talents that were in. And I know the cuck will be like, "Oh, I gave Garabo." It's like I kind of did. I was the one.
You were the program director.
Yeah, I was fighting for him. I was fighting for Ledge. I was fighting for Burke to get paid because Burke's driving from Orlando down here, and he's like, Matt, he's like, I like doing this, but I'm not getting paid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it, Shannon, I get it. And I would have to fight with Tom Bean, and I'm trying to work, and we got to get these guys contracts, man. They're and I remember Shark. This was when we were trying to fill out the night position at Radio IO, and it was Garabo was doing stuff for us, and Ledge was doing stuff for us.
Yeah.
And Shark called me up, and he's like, "Hey, man, we've got this position open," and he was talking about it was over at 97X or something. Anyways, or whatever it was. And I had told him, I go, look, I said, I plan on hiring either, actually paying and hiring on Ledge or Drew. And we had a discussion about Drew Garabo on that phone call. And I was like, God bless you. If he
Yeah.
wants to go that route, and that's when Garabo went and did mornings at X, and we ended up hiring Ledge on full time at Radio Iowa at night and getting him a little bit of pay. It wasn't a lot of pay, but it was something, right? Which for me was a win because nobody was getting shit. But that's how that whole thing evolved, and then you see Burke now with. I guess you could call it a resurrection of his career. Garabo's doing great at the Bone.
Yeah.
Ledge unfortunately passed away. All these things. But I'm sitting back and I'm going, I'm happy that now I don't talk to Shannon, and that's a whole probably. But I don't have any animosity. I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that I played a small role in him getting back into that business and that industry, because he was fucking blackballed. Let's be honest. He was on the outs. He shot his wife and his dog.
That's a tough one.
And he did prison time. That's a tough one to come back from, right? And he did. And that's why it's so fascinating when people will talk shit about me, where I'm like, I'm looking around and I'm seeing all these I'm seeing things that have occurred, and I'm going, you guys have no clue what's happening.
People have no clue, and they also have no loyalty. That's what I've determined.
Well, loyalty's a two-way street, my man.
Yeah, I made the mistaken. I had the mistaken.
Was that deep?
It was deep. I had the mistaken belief of that someone was loyal. Stupidly, foolishly, pathetically. It's, you get sucked into that world, and it's a whole. That's a brain. You're brainwashed. He's brainwashing you along with his audience, like 24/7, every day for 20 years, and you're just like, yes, master.
And it's a full-time job for a narcissistic sociopath to keep that up, and it's like running a Ponzi scheme.
It's brutal.
It's literally like it's like. Have you ever seen Wolf of Wall Street?
I have seen scenes from it.
Okay, it's like the real life character. The guy's selling these dreams. It's just like anybody with a Ponzi scheme. You're selling this dream, right? But you've got to constantly, I don't know, move. It's a giant puzzle. It's always moving, and you've always got to find pieces.
But you see, and that for a while it was like it really was. It was working. The Ponzi scheme was working for a long time, and then on the way down. Then towards the end, you have to just kind of sit there, and when he's selling you this stuff, Randy Michaels got to buy a radio station in New York, and you have to go. You want to go. You've told me this 8 times in the last 10 years. It ain't happening. Just quit making me pretend to believe you. But you go, yeah. Hope so. Sounds good, buddy.
Oh man, dude, the Radio Iowa stuff, when that launched. I had come up with some different ideas for programming, and Randy Michaels was involved in Radio Iowa. And by involved, I believe they just got a shit ton of stock, right? That's whatever. Let me start on that.
Yeah, let's not start on that. Yeah.
But with that being said, I said, hey, look, I've got a great idea. UFC it wasn't at the broad appeal it is now, but it was getting there. It was on the cusp.
They were selling out. Arena,
and I said, I want to broadcast these fights live and do play-by-play and commentary. What?
Well, it's like, I had a lot of ideas too, and you have and it's like none of these ideas that could have been big, could have been. I was like, Bubba, why don't we get together and record ourselves broadcasting play-by-play color and NFL game just for the fuck of it, because I know he'd be good broadcasting a fucking NFL game. The guy's good at anything, but no ideas were ever anything that required like 2 hours was too much. No, I ain't got time for that. No time.
Yeah. Well, the UFC thing actually,
it's a brilliant idea.
I worked. That's what I said. And in all fairness, the Cuck thought so too. He was like, that's great, right? He's like, that's awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So I mapped it all out, and I said, okay, well, I got Rob Kahn involved. I said, hey, Rob, come in for play-by-play. You know the stuff, right? And we'll just bounce off it, and because think about it, UFC has never been broadcast on the radio. It just doesn't. It's pay-per-view only, right? Which that leads into a whole nother project that I'm working on. But regardless, I map it out, roadmap it, do the whole thing, and then Randy Michaels ends up coming back and telling Tom Bean that we can't do it that way. All we can do is play up to, I think it was up to 30 seconds of audio at a time. Like, we could do it, but you couldn't broadcast the fight in full because of pay-per-view rights and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, we'll just, like, I'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission in that situation, right? Because it was going to be a cool concept and a cool idea. So anyways, we did it, but it was only a one-off, and it was unfortunate because it got stifled by these people who, the Radio IO thing, who didn't even give a fuck about the Radio IO thing. They didn't even care. And it was disappointing as somebody who's working a lot on this stuff and trying to come up with different ideas.
I mean, imagine, like, when we got big into the UFC and Bubba was allowed to broadcast from the building, he was getting all the fighters.
Yep.
So if you'd had and you'd already planted that seed, if you'd have been doing that, Dana White would have jumped on that.
Oh, dude, there was another thing I had for Insane Clown Posse, okay, which I love those guys. They're just
nothing but fun when they came. I mean, those guys were hilarious.
They're great, and their whole music catalog. So I worked out a deal with those guys in their camp and their label and everything, Psychopathic, to build out Juggalo Radio, like Juggalo on IO, right? And I received publishing rights from them. I got everything in order. I got imaging done.
Can you just stop talking?
Sorry. I probably should.
Bringing me down. No, see, but that's a brilliant, because Juggalos, you want to talk about loyal who are willing to pay for shit. Juggalos could live in a trailer, and it could be between the electric bill or listening to the station on IO, and they're going to still subscribe to that.
I had Juggalo on IO. It was ready to launch. The day before it officially launched, Tom Bean gets some sort of press release out there, and it mentioned like Radio IO being a publicly traded stock and blah blah, and asked them to sign off on it. And Psychopathic goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! We're not signing it." Like there was some paperwork that was sent, and it didn't need to be done. At least in my opinion, it was almost. It was like, why did you do that? Like, you mucked up the deal. Like, if you know those guys and you can say, hey, man, give us the rights to your music catalog. No problem. Done. We're going to do this. Awesome. Great deal. It's almost like a gentleman's agreement. And then they're like, awesome. We get our own radio station. That's right. Yeah. Cool. But instead, it got this whole layer of bullshit involved. And then the project got 86 the day before it launched, which is unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. Trump had the book, The Art of the Deal.
Art of the Deal. Art of the Deal.
I'm talking the muck of the deal. The muck of the deal. They muck up the deal. It's like, even just with the local talent, that you had procured, and, the Shannon Burke and the Scott Ledger with the Dangerous Conversation. We cluster fuck, and occasionally Ned would do show. It's great, and that was with not able to offer compensation.
Yeah.
Imagine what you could have done with a budget, pretty much first in the digital radio market.
Yeah, could have been great.
Squandered. The word I always come back to is squandered. Squandered. That's going to be, when I write my autobiography, Matt, the title is going to be Squandered.
It's going to be better than the other ones coming out. The Woe Is Me.
Woe is me. Oh, my God. Woe is me.
Woe is me.
Woe is me. I mean, we had some loyal fans that would sit through just months of Woe is me. Months of Woe is me. Years of Woe is me. I remember one time I was visiting my brother-in-law.
And then for doing it, Ned calls him an asshole.
Over and over again.
Listen, asshole.
Yeah, over and over again.
Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
I was visiting my brother-in-law in Georgia. He's a cool guy. And he was talking, he's a good guy. And he said, hey, man, I'm going to start tuning into your show, man, And I was like, it was at a certain point in the show, and I was like, please don't.
Yeah, don't do that.
I said, don't. You're just going to hear a guy just bitching and moaning for like 4 hours. You're going to hate it. And I'm associated with it. So just don't tune in. And he's like, okay. You know, I mean, how bad does that suck? That, you know, you want to be going, yeah, tune in. It's great. No, it's like, no, don't tune in. At that point, I was so disillusioned. It was like, don't even listen, buddy.
I'm so ashamed of some of the stuff. Like I even go back. I look at like pictures I have with some people that I really like the pictures. They're funny pictures, but like it's got like a, you know, Cuck Army shirt on, or you know, like an old school shirt. I'm going, how do I like edit those pictures to not even have that on there? Because I'm just so. Blech. I know it's wrong. I think I've gotten over that because it's part of the history. It's part of my past.
You know, I'm sure we feel a lot of the same feeling.
Yeah.
And I'm not bitter, except occasionally, because I don't really think about it. I'm not that kind of guy, but occasionally I'm like, motherfucking bullshit, fucking stupidest shit that ever, you know. And it's like, I don't give a shit. It's like why is he got to be such an asshole? Why don't you come in here and sit in here with Mike and Matt, and let's have a little discussion. That you want to talk about radio fucking Neptunium?
Oh, I've got 10 questions for him. A list of 10 that would land him in prison.
Oh, see, that's why he won't do it. No, I like I said, you know, somebody was saying, would you ever go back? I was like, if I got $100,000 up front, I'd go back.
Oh, why? Ew.
And they get paid. I don't care. I don't care. I like to do great radio. I think it's that made those days.
But that would be qualified on it being great radio.
Yeah.
Which I don't think.
I don't think it is. I think
that's there anymore.
I think that ship has sailed. I think the, like, you know, the years of plotting and scheming and drama take its toll.
I still feel like the greatest documentary that's waiting, like, in the wings that nobody's touched on. I mean, how many times are you going to do a Hogan sex tape document? I mean,
people are over that.
Enough already. Even I wasn't even interested in the last one. Like
I couldn't even finish it. I was in it, and I was like,
I know. I did watch it. I go, oh, there's Mike. Look at you.
Oh, they came out here for like 8 hours.
And they used 2 seconds of it?
It was like 10 people, 4 trucks, lights, microphones. What is it? A 2.5 hour setup. And they talked to me for an hour and a half, and they used like 18 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they're all like, oh, that's good. And you're like, didn't you fucking shit? It's like, I learned my lesson. I ain't never doing that again.
Well, the best one waiting in the wings is, I swear to God, it's the DUI setup. That honey trap is the most amazing story from A to Z.
How's that not even like national news just based on the entertainment value of it?
It is like if Todd Phillips, if he was to produce the movie based on that scenario, and it would be like a comedy of errors kind of thing, like it would be hilarious on all levels. And you're right. I mean, I don't know why. I don't even know why 60 Minutes. I don't know what the deal is, but it is the craziest story. I mean, the fact that, again, you've got these guys, they got disbarred. You've got cops involved.
They closed down the whole firm. 200 people lost their job.
The cop got canned, but he gets a pension for the rest of his life. He's making like $70,000 a year forever for helping to set something up. And then above it all, they all, as a whole group of these idiots, they all gloss over it. Just like he glosses over the ratings scandal. Okay? You cheated on you gloss over it, and you focus everything back on Hogan, roommate.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
It's to be commended. I can't even. It's to be commended.
And when you break it down, it's like,
unless you're listening to this right now, hopefully you get it.
It's like, okay, so the lawyer that's opposing you in a lawsuit.
Yeah.
I mean,
because some people might not even know the story.
You know, you may not like him, and he may be, may not like the lawsuit. You may not like his his client, but why are you trying to get him possibly fired, lose the case? I get you wanting to lose the case, but he could get all these ramifications. You don't give a shit. You just, And the whole idea behind it is preposterous.
But think about it. It sort of
It almost worked.
I mean,
Well,
you had this chick, okay, who worked for the law firm, the Diaco law firm, in a bar, honey trap this guy, then end up with his briefcase with sensitive material for the case that was in progress. Then you've got a cop pulling him over. Then you've got phone calls that are made. I mean,
it's deep.
It's insanity,
Thick.
and it all happened, pretty quick if you think about the time frame. And then they just try to blow over. And then the best is
like it
Stephen
didn't
Diaco.
happen.
Stephen Diaco says on the stand, "Who's your cell phone?" He pled the fifth a million times. Now again. You have the right to do it.
Yeah.
I don't care. I that's what it's there for. Fine by me. I don't care. I'd use it to my advantage too if I
Yeah.
could. But who's your cell provider? I think he pleaded the fifth to who's your cell phone provider, right? Because he didn't want them to pull phone records. But you've got lawyers trying to out-lawyer lawyers. And,
I can't even imagine if you had all those text messages, what it would be like.
oh, my God. That documentary would be so sweet. Be so sweet.
I think next, Sean Raz subscribed for 50 months. Thank you, Sean Raz. Oh, I don't have it potted up. My bad, Sean.
No!
Next week in chat, you can help us. We need to cast the movie, the Bubba the Love Sponge movie.
What was me?
The Woe Is Me. All the characters from Bruce Hamill to who's the drunk lawyer who got caught in the honeypot?
Phil Campbell.
Phil Campbell, the Diacos, Dr. Mario. There's a million characters. A million characters. We got to cast this movie.
Oh, there's so much there. There's so much there. I don't know.
Got to give it. Yeah.
I'm
there's so much there. There's no way. I consider that at its prime to be the best radio show in the history of radio. I also consider it to be the most bizarre working environment in the history of radio.
For sure. For sure. Hands down.
Hands down. And you just get jaded to it. It's just another day at work.
You could look at the cast of Jackass, and it was child's play compared to what was going on there. Dude, Steve-O comes to the studio, and even we had Tom the Tree Man, I think, on an iron cross or something like that with a kickball full of nails sticking out of it. And Steve-O goes, I'm not partaking in this. We're going, but you're Steve-O. He's like, yeah. That's when it kind of raised the flag, because I go, when the main guy who's crazy on Jackass won't even attempt to even fuck with this bit, we got problems.
He wouldn't do nothing. Steve-O, he's like, no, I ain't into that.
Yeah.
Tom the Tree Man with the leeches was one of the best. That's an original stunt there.
Yeah.
A guy with leeches all over his back, and then pelted with paintballs, and then the blood. Every time you hit a leech, the blood goes.
It was pretty funny stuff. And then he wouldn't stop bleeding. They had to send him to
Now, I always wondered, was that a true story?
Yeah.
Because you never know.
He wouldn't clot. He would not clot.
Leeches release an anti-clotting agent.
Yeah. So he was just constantly bleeding. So he had to go see, I believe it was Dan Diaco, and Dan had to
put
he had to shoot a separate shot
into each
leech
bite to suck.
Which there was tons.
Yeah. Good stunt though.
Great stunt.
I mean, who was saying about the legal ramifications? Maybe it was Trace. He was talking about. He's like, everybody signed up for what they did, and he's like, so would there ever be legal could you sue because you agreed to it all? Remember Pantera and somebody that were sucking like chocolate dicks.
Yes.
It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But it's like nobody would have.
The chocolate was melting. It was just all around the mouth.
It was just ungodly. Nobody would have done any of that shit without the threat of losing their job. It wasn't. It was not. It was. What do you call it? Implicit. Is it implicit or? It was just. It wasn't ever said that you're going to lose your job, but you got to do.
You can't say no,
or you can't say no.
Yeah.
So I think What was that?
Implied consent.
It was implied consent. Yeah, it was. So yeah, I think you could. I think you could. You know, because it would just look bad. I mean, I think if anybody had ever sued him, all they had to do was just show what happened, and the jury would go, "Yeah, you shouldn't have had to do that shit."
Oh yeah,
And you got some money.
yeah. We could have all. I mean, there's a lot there. There's a lot of meat on that. But actually, there's no meat on that bone.
There's no meat.
There's no meat left on that
There's
bone.
no more meat left on the bone. Like they show which kind of chicken wing you are, and it's right here with completely skinned. There's nothing on that bone.
Nothing on that bone.
Just bare bones.
Bare. Okay, so I don't know. You have the ability to pull up something?
Sure.
Okay. Let me see okay, you're familiar with Kenny G. I know this is way off topic.
Yeah.
This is completely switching gears. I know this. But I'm fascinated with this. Look up Kenny G, One Note.
One note. Kenny G, one note.
Are you able to play YouTube stuff here? I don't know how that works.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, all right.
Okay. He used circular breathing to sustain an E flat on a saxophone for 45 minutes and 47 seconds.
Can you believe that?
Do you want me to look that up?
Oh, the video, you hear him hit this note. It goes on for, I think the one I was watching had him going on for like 4 minutes. Now, whether you love Kenny G, hate
Okay,
Kenny G.
I got a 4-minute deal right here, right? So this is probably it.
Do you know what lard is actually made of?
Yes, I do.
Probably should have stuck around for that ad.
I have an idea what lard is made of.
There's a Tenacious D bit, and it's called Inward Singing, and he's going, and I'm singing and I'm singing while I'm breathing, and he's doing the, and that's what Kenny G's doing, using circular breathing.
I've never heard of circular breathing in my life.
I have not to hit a note for 45 minutes. That's what it says.
I don't know what this one. Okay, so this is the 4-minute.
They're probably
version.
because they know nobody wants to see it.
Yeah, this is the one So I think if you go to like 37 seconds is when he actually starts hitting the note or something.
All righty. Okay, he's good here. This is the build up.
Yeah, this is the build up.
Can you imagine going to see a guy do this for like 2 hours? Oh my God.
I love smooth jazz, but I don't know about in
I don't know.
person. Unless he's hitting the note.
Here he goes.
I'm in awe. It's a rib.
He's going to do this for, are you telling me he's going to do this for 2 minutes and
Yes.
20 seconds more?
Yeah, we can pot it down and have a conversation, come back to it, and it'll still be going.
I paid $1,200 for front row seats to hear this.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Oh, my gushy.
God. Can you believe it? This guy's got a set of lungs on him.
How's he doing it, though?
Should have fucking, it's on tape. It's on fucking
You
tape.
know, I didn't even think of that. You think,
You
think he's lying?
To me, it's like a great tragedy that everything's fake. You know, like I'll pick some stuff to play for the show, like on Cluster F in the morning, every morning at 8 o'clock on twitch.tv/Cluster F show. I forgot what I was going to say. See, it happened once. Happens once a show, man. And every time, I'll be playing it and I'll go, can you? And Tracy's like, it's fake. And I'm like, fuck, it's fake. As soon as he says it's fake, I'm like, oh, I put 2 and 2 together finally. And I'm like, oh, it's totally fake.
Kenny G is the real deal.
Yeah, I believe this is the real deal. I believe it. Because he's still going.
Master.
Is that Hitler in the audience?
Oh my God. Stop already.
Stop already. That's we're not. You got another minute 20, babe.
Oh yeah.
He's crazy. Look. What?
He's gonna go out in the crowd and annoy people.
Oh my gosh.
It's like my fucking alarm went off and I can't shut it off.
He's the new air siren for Israel.
Oh shit! Rocket's on the
Oh
way.
my god.
Nope, it's just Kenny G.
Actually, they used Kenny G. He's actually in Tel Aviv right now. Kenny G, hit it! Hit it, Kenny!
Hit it, Kenny!
Oh my gosh! Stop already!
Go, Devin.
Oh my
As
god!
you can hear, Kenny G is now voicing his air siren and concern for the people of Israel. There's now rockets being launched across the Gaza Strip. They're attacking as Kenny G is circularly breathing his way to the air sirens.
Very effective. I'm running for my life right now. Oh my god! I mean, 45. Are you serious? I mean, I appreciate that that's not easy to do, but I don't really want to hear it. I mean, this has only been intermittently 2 minutes and 58 seconds, and it's feel like torture to me.
Unless you paid for a concert ticket and that was a big surprise.
Yeah, that's
Like,
the
oh.
big surprise. This is the big surprise, Matt.
Were you there for his circular breathing
my God.
in person?
Kenny G can suck a dick.
I love a good saxophone.
No, I do. I just don't want to hear him just hit
Hold
the same
note?
note for. I swear they said it was 45 minutes.
I think that's the
Kenny
record.
G used circular breathing to sustain an E flat on a saxophone for 45 minutes and 47 seconds.
That's insane.
Oh, but
wait.
Van Birchfeld says, "Screw you, Kenny G," and he set a new world record for circular breathing, holding one continuous note for 47 minutes and 6 seconds.
47 minutes.
I wouldn't even want to do that.
I don't want to do it.
Anything for
I
47.
mean, even this is debatable for 47 minutes at a clip, right? Like,
It's just like, hey Matt, you want to take a break?
Yeah.
It's been 47. It's been 47 minutes. The listeners are sick of this shit. Oh my goodness.
I remember Howard 101 did when they were doing all the specialty programming when Sirius first kind of launched that channel. They had Paris
Yeah.
Hilton. She did that. She used to say, "That's hot" all the time.
That's hot.
That's hot. That's hot. And I remember the Howard Stern show. They slowed it down. So we're like, it's hot. And then they slowed it down even further. And then I think one night they did a special where they slowed it down to where it took an hour to get through it. So it was just from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock or whatever. It was just Paris Hilton going, "That's hot," but it was so slow that it was literally an hour long. And I thought that was the funniest thing ever.
See, I love shit like that.
Yeah, that to me was a way to use the signal, you know?
All right, so when we stop the show, I'm just gonna leave this. I'm gonna leave this on for 45 minutes. Oh my god, good for you, Kenny G. Appreciate the circular breathing.
Circular breathing, whatever that is.
Did he have what was his like big hit?
That song, minus that note.
Was it a song? So like the beginning. This is This is Kenny G's big hit. I'm not feeling it. I mean, that's elevated.
It's a great
music.
song.
I mean,
For what it is.
It's like jazz is fine in like, I don't know what, but not with like if I'm going out to have a good time. I'm not into jazz. I hate the blues.
Oh, the blues.
It's
Ew.
like, let's go out and listen to these guys sing about how miserable life is.
My baby slept with my dog.
Fucking hate. I detest the blues. It's not. I want to hear the happies. I don't want to hear the blues.
Who was that? That was B.B. King, right? B.B. King was all blues.
I believe so.
Yeah,
I know. Couldn't tell you if I've heard much of B.B. I'm sure he was an excellent guitar player. I think he was. I'm not into that. I'm not into the blues. not in. Jazz has its place.
Okay, jazz, but not like the Dizzy Gillespie. It's too all over the place. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, I'm
whoa,
not into that
let's relax a little bit.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what like
Smooth jazz.
Like we were talking, like rap. I've said it a million times.
Uh-oh.
It's like hip hop and rap was formed, and its basis is language, and its basic is rhymes, and the flow and the rhymes and the message. It was a big message when it first came. Rhyme. Now it's just like you just slur your words until you get to the rhyme. Fat, on the cat. It's like. Am I old? It's like, Kodak Black. It's like, that's a special needs person trying to rap, and he can't even enunciate. Even enunciate.
I know, but I
mumble rap. Real seriously.
That's the trend.
We're devolving.
Oh, yeah.
As a society, as
a species.
We're devolving. We're pathetic.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're all speaking in hieroglyphics. I mean, that's all these emojis are. Everything. I mean, we're really going back to ancient times where they used to scribble shit on walls, right? Because I can communicate with you via text from strictly an emoji perspective, or perhaps finding a meme.
You could easily.
And we would never have to text any sort of verbal, any sentences at all.
So you're saying that from now on we can't have this incredible verbiage back and forth, tete-a-tete. We could just do emojis. So you every Tuesday you text me a question
clock.
or a question mark, and I text you back a 6, and that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
I mean, that's me and my friend Brandon. Like once a week, on Thursday, he would say beer question mark, and I would give him a thumbs up, and we would go to Beef O'Brady's and drink beer. That's dudes. That's totally
That is
dudes.
dudes.
That's totally dudes.
That is a dude thing. That's all we need.
And it's like I wouldn't talk to him. I wouldn't communicate with him at all. And then Thursday, I'd get the text, and then I'd send it this thumb back, and we go drink and we talk.
Yeah, then
but
you talk.
I don't. How's your day going, Brandon? On a Thursday night, nobody. I don't care. He doesn't care about my day. Let's go get some beer once a week.
I just found out how to hide alerts on text. I just now found out.
Tell me how.
Because they drive me insane. Being a part of a group text message is like the worst nightmare ever for me.
I don't do that.
It gives me anxiety. I hate it. But I can't stop it, right? I'm a part of some group text message. I'm like, oh my God. So I just now figured out how to hide alerts last week. And I go, my life has been pretty good this week because I haven't been getting. But then, there'll be like 40 messages on it. But oh my God, I can't stand them. All these pointless texts. How you doing? Good.
How you doing?
What's up? Not much. And then it just keeps going. Like if you want to call me, we can get all this accomplished in 30 seconds.
I've said that. For years. It's like, you ever been like with the boss man? I'd be in like a 45-minute text deal with him, and it's like, this is a 4-minute conversation
max.
And it's going on 45 minutes, and I got to keep coming back and checking my phone.
Yep. You can't just leave it there. Yeah, I know what you mean.
There was a point. This is usually all the bizarre stuff happened at the very end, and I think he was into weed, and we would go smoke. And not going to get into that. We're going to smoke out in the trailer, and then we'd do the Todd and Mike show. And have a great time, and he really seemed to no, for that second time I forgot what I was talking about, and I'm talking about weed.
You're talking about
the bizarre behavior.
Took a turn.
Oh man, how did I do that to end the show? That's a good way to end the show. I have no idea what deal. What I'm
you really can't remember?
About. No, it happens to me all the time.
Man,
it's I enjoy weed. Some guy comedy's like, I really enjoyed the Matt and Mike show, but the weed talk was cringe.
Was there a lot of weed talk?
Just like one day. I was talking about how I forget a lot.
Oh.
That usually happens once a show where I talk about the short-term memory loss. It's like, why? like if you talk about alcohol, is that cringe? Why is it cringe to talk about weed?
It's a cringe.
It's so cringe. Let me get. Somebody said something cool. Let's see.
Oh, is it a chat?
Yeah, it's hard. Loving this mic. I want a sub, please. That's his name. He wants people to gift him a sub. I want a sub, please. Says loving this Mike and Matt show every week.
Well,
do you ever go to the YouTube comments, Matt? They're very flattering.
Yes, I have, and I've thought about commenting back and responding, but then I think better of it, and therefore I haven't done that.
You could say, go ahead and respond. The people would enjoy that, or you could say, there's somebody just waiting to see a Matt Lloyd response so they can motherfuck you to
That's right. That's my mentality. Like, I'm permanently on defense. Okay, my whole life I'm playing defense. Like, I'm never on the offense. My whole life is like, who's trying to fuck me now? Like what? Like what's going on? Who's gonna sue me? Like what are we doing here? So yeah, my whole life is I'm constantly playing defense. It's weird. It's not a fun feeling.
No, it's not. And I see these comments sometimes, and I'm like, well, that guy's full of shit. And I was like, that's a big ordeal trying to explain let me tell you the real story. No, I ain't got time to.
Well, that and I think I've just kind of gotten to the place. Sometimes, one, I watch a lot of videos on stoicism. I don't know how familiar you are with stoicism. Stoic.
I had a dog that was very stoic.
If his name was Marcus Aurelius, then you've got it. You've got it on point. It's
stoicism. It's an interesting thing to be interested in.
But it's helped calm me and helped me like center myself in certain regards through life. Yeah. And I would be a terrible explainer of it to you, but if you're interested in it, I would suggest I can send you some videos and stuff. It's just interesting.
You're trying to indoctrinate me into stoicism,
yes,
Matt.
You will become a stoic before you know it. But part of me looks at people that don't know what happened or have a different perspective on it. And at the end of the day, I'm going, I don't owe you a motherfucking thing. I don't owe you an explanation. I don't owe you shit. And furthermore, it's not your job to owe them an explanation either, right? Like I know, which I've seen you respond to some people and other people will say stuff and you don't respond. And
you get over it. You're just like, it's a losing battle.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to explain yourself to someone who's brainwashed and will never change their opinion?
Yeah, and I don't owe you a fucking thing.
True.
I owe you entertainment. Like that's what we're here to provide. Like I never want to lose sight of just having a good conversation and just having an entertaining time. Other than that, I don't owe anybody a fucking. I have to answer your fucking question. Fuck off.
I mean, and it's like like the negative text is really slowed down, but some of the negative text, and you're like, when did this happen? And you're a listener to a radio show, and you're still like bent out of shape about something that happened how many fucking years ago? Just get the fuck over it.
Yeah, and again, you don't know what happened.
And all you know is one perspective from one of the most notorious liars of our times. I mean, when I was doing like 200 bits about him being a liar, that was because he was a liar. when he'd lose a bet and then come in the next day with a fake IV, so that he wouldn't lose the bet. He did a lot of that stuff. If there was ever a contest, he was cheating.
Yes.
Whether it be go-karts where he had a souped-up go-kart that comes out of the back of the shop at the last second, or
he's going 60 around a course, and everybody else is
smoking
going 30.
everybody.
Okay.
Or a gun range where we're having a shooting competition, and he's made our gun. He's messed up the aim on our gun, so everything goes right, and we all lose. It's like that's the kind of deal it was.
It was so weird.
Everything was a cheat.
Everything was a cheat. I remember with the show, we went bowling. And I won at the bowling, if I remember correctly.
Because he couldn't cheat.
It's weird. Yeah. It's very telling. You're real bent out of shape.
I mean, it was, it was always funny to see how's he going to cheat this week? Let's see. All right. Oh, my God. Real quick. Kyrox 7 TV says the Matt and Mike show is good.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a rousing endorsement.
And Podcast Willie says, loving these shows, guys. Keep it going.
Hey, well, thank you. That's
I'm,
cool.
I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
Yeah, me too. I like this.
And so, thanks for tuning in. Let's wrap it up, man. We keep going longer and longer. It's going to turn into a 3-hour ordeal, Matt. We can't help it.
You know, I know. We got to figure it out. We got to.
And we got to figure out a name.
Oh.
Something you said earlier, something about the hang. There's got to be like Mike and Matt. It's just
maybe the hang with Mike and Matt is the hang.
I don't know. And you got to worry.
I think it's all about the thumbnail. We
about
just
the
put a
thumbnail.
hot chick on there with her breasts out, and then they listen to the show, and it's not anything that they expected, but hopefully they like it, and they just continue to listen.
Well, if we could purchase one more pair of fake breasts, we could both just have.
No.
No? You got a phobia? Come on, why can't you just let it? Come on, man. It's a new age. It's a new time, man. Wearing breasts is not a big deal.
It ain't me. I'm not doing it.
Quit repressing. You're repressing. See, I'm non-binary at times. I'm fluid at times, and I like to express it.
Wait.
Just ask Donna. Donna will tell you 1,000% that I am gender fluid.
Well, congratulations.
I've been battling on it for years.
to
but
know
she's like, yeah, you're gay.
Well, this is the biggest, longest mask ever. Because how long have you guys been married?
40 years.
You must be in terrible turmoil. The heartache and torture you must feel.
I know. I just want to sing show tunes every day, but I can't.
40 years of living a lie.
Did you just go to the store, babe, so I can sing some show tunes?
Your Spotify playlist.
Oh, thank you so much for participating in the show, Matthew Lloyd. I think it's a really good show, and trust me. I've been looking for somebody who just who loves to do this.
Just chat
Nobody
it up.
wants to just do it. They want something out of it. And it's like, can't you just enjoy the art of conversation? No, but you can enjoy the art of conversation with the hang with Mike and Matt.
There it is. I think it's official. It might be official.
All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll put this up on YouTube, and you can see it later if you're a subscriber on Twitch. And we'll see you next week at 6 o'clock, barring World War III.
Yes.
Take care.